Hey, what's up everybody? Hope you're having an amazing day so far. I'm Phil, and in today's video, I'm super happy and excited to show you the brand new Blackout plugin by ML Sound Lab. Let's roll that intro clip, listen to a demo song, and then check out the plugin. Yet here we are again in another Metal November. Now, a lot of amp sim developers or plugin developers in general have made the month of November to their kind of metal-oriented month, where they have either new creations which they add to their portfolio, or they are offering discounts for their metal-specific packages or plugins. ML Sound Lab has released a brand new amp sim which is called Blackout. So it's an addition to their amped collection, which already contains a lot of different cool amplifiers, and now they just decided that they want to go with an EVH stealth variant. And me being the absolute 5150 fan, in any variant you can find, be it real amplifiers like, you know, you can see it back there obviously, or having like preamp pedals or plugins, I had to have my hands onto this. So I downloaded the demo, I played a little bit around, I really liked what I was hearing, and I thought this would make an awesome review. So I went over to Kai and just wrote him if he maybe has a license for me left so that I can do the demo. And he was absolutely kind enough, you know, the stellar guy he always is, to send me out a license. So thank you so much for this, Kai. So you can take anything which I say with a grain of salt. However, of course, you're gonna get my honest opinion as usual, and also I'm not obliged to tell you anything. I have no talking points or something. I just got the license for free, basically, to my own pleasure and making a demo out of it. Now, even though I'm not affiliated in any shape or form with ML Sound Lab, I still want to make you aware of their 50% sale which they got going on throughout the entire month of November. So I'm going to put a link over here and also in the description down below to their website, where you can grab, I think, most of their plugins, if not even all of their plugins, for 50% off. I think the amped Blackout plugin then would only cost you $30, which is an incredible good value proposition for what you're getting over here. And you can also stack, you know, like loyalty discounts on top of that particular sales discount. So go ahead, grab yourself this plugin, really worth every single penny. Alright, I got now the Blackout open over here in a Reaper session. Yeah, everything is set to default factory settings. Before we dive into tones and the graphical user face and so on, let's talk about the signal chain. I got this Phoenix STL guitar, which has a Seymour Duncan SH5 in the bridge, going into my Audient ID44, which has the gain preamp, or the preamp gain turned completely to 0, so we have no gain, no boost going on into the plugin, and then that goes straight to your speakers and your ears. Now, this is what it sounds like straight out of the box. I personally like the tonal characteristics a lot, but I think it's highly undergained, especially looking at this amp channel being the third channel, so meaning the red channel, and having the gain at half. That's way too less gain. The reason for that is, you can see over here, this LED is turned off. So this is basically my input, indicator. In case that I have a signal which is strong enough, that would light up green. When I play over here, we do not see anything lighting up. So I got to boost this up. I already made some tests and found that this is over here the perfect value for the input. And now the LED is lighting up when I'm playing. And now it sounds way more of what I would expect out of an EVH 5150 stealth variant. Sounds really good in my opinion. I really enjoy the tone which I'm getting over here straight out of the box. Nothing set up. So let's first talk about the graphical user interface and then explore what we can do with that. So up over here we got the three different amp channels, being obviously the green, the blue, and the red channel. Green being the clean, blue being the crunch, red being the lead channel. And then over here we got some presets for each and every channel, which we can then use. We're going to leave everything as it is currently right now. Then over here we got a tuner, which works fairly decently well. You can tune your guitar, quickly reacts, is accurate, nothing left to be desired. Then we got the pedal board over here, which consists of 6 different pedals. 3 pedals are pre-amplifier, 3 pedals then after the amplifier. We got noise gate, compressor, and drive before the amplifier, and then chorus, delay, and reverb after the amplifier. One thing which bogs me here a little bit is that we don't have numbers or any kind of indicator what is going on over here. So I have to do everything here by ear basically, which works. But for example, for the threshold, I would love to have that this threshold thing, when I'm changing stuff, turns to the respective value. This would be a feedback and a suggestion which I would make towards ML Sound Lab. Please give us some sort of numbers, especially when it comes to rate, to mix, to depth, that we have those time values going on. But for now, it is what it is, and yeah, setting up the threshold like by ear works perfectly fine. Moving onward, we have the cabinet section, which in my opinion is the strongest selling point of the ML Sound Lab plugins in general, because Mikko is such a great IR shooter basically. He really knows his stuff, he really knows what's going on, and we got this really cool cabinet section over here. Wisely so, you cannot make impulse responses out of this because you have no possibility to turn off the amplifier and bypass that. Very cleverly made, but also very fair, considering that you get here the reflex IR packages basically in a 3D model, which Mikko and ML Sound Lab has recently released, and which I also made a demo of on the channel a few months ago. So what we got over here are 3 different reflex speakers, IR packs, whatever you want to call them. Let's call them speakers for now. So the reflex speakers are the Gent Vintage 30, the green, I think it's a greenback from 1990 or something, and then we got the Mick Thompson DV77. You can also load your custom impulse response or bypass that, and each and every of these reflex speakers come with 4 different microphones, which is, absolute fair proposition when looking at the value proposition of this. Super fair. Then you got a mix knob over here. One thing which I am kind of missing, but actually not, because you can get your way around that with doing some settings, is kind of a high pass, low pass thing that you just can, tailor a little bit more towards your sound preferences. But I think for that, that's then something which Mikko 2 offers. The huge cabinet, plugin suite which they have, and which is an absolutely amazing plugin, which I also reviewed here on the channel before. Then next up we got the MIDI stuff going on, and then license manager. Yeah, product is licensed for me. And then over here we got this small little switch which says Vorna and light, depending on what you're setting up. So Vorna is their enhanced like their enhanced amp capturing, profiling, modeling, whatever you want to call it, technology. So this is basically the high quality version of this plugin. And in case you gotta spare some CPU, because this is a little bit of a CPU hog, then you can set this to light. So in regards of being a CPU hog, this takes a little bit more than when I load STL Tones Josh Middleton, which is already a good statement in itself. So yeah, it is quite CPU hungry. All right, enough talk, I would say. Let's explore some tones. So once again, the default setting with the increased input. Just to kind of give you a very quick impression of what the light version sounds like. It's actually pretty good. So also the light sounds very good. Let's check out here the amp channel number 3. So setting up the gain very low, we get this. Sounds really cool, but I like to have it like at half, somewhere around that ballpark. Setting up the lows a little bit higher. So yeah, wide variety of the knobs. I think what they got better than in previous plugins is how the knobs react and compare that to the real deal. So having the Ivory 100 watt EVH, I know there are a few things different between those two amplifiers, but still I kind of get, you know, a real feel. While with some earlier ML Sound Lab plugins, it rather sounded like they kind of had like a profile in a box thing with a little bit of an EQ shaping thing going on. This sounds more like having an actual amp sim, which is really cool, which I really enjoy over here. And as you heard, you can easily get away without, you know, without any type of boost on this over here. So this is really capable and really sounding good. All right, nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's try out a boost over here. So I'm going to set the gain over here very low. And then set the drive to 0, set the total a little bit higher, set the level a little bit higher. I'm not going to go with the full level because that kind of pushes the amplifier over the edge. So it substantially thins out the amp, but in a good way. It kind of brings that crank to it. So what I can now do is enhance the lows a little bit and set the resonance a little bit higher to give it a little bit more of that oomph. Really like that a lot. Yeah, that sounds absolutely kick-ass. Now, going over to the cabinet situation over here, what I personally like is, I like the Gent Vintage 30 with the dynamic SM57. Gonna push that a little bit more over here. So let's hear that on its own. If I move it a little bit further, it gets a little bit too cranky for my taste. So right there is a great place. Sounds really good. Man, this is really good. This reflex speaker thing sounds amazing. Let's go ahead and let's play a little bit around. Now that I know kind of what my favorite settings are, let's test a little bit around. First, let's go with the RX MiG 77. Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing, to be honest. I really, really dig what we got over here. Let's test out some of the effects which we got. So I'm not going to put the mix too strongly in there. Delay over there, what we got. Yeah, sounds good. That's something which can be worked directly into lead sounds. Although for a lead tone, I would immediately go with a very different sound aesthetic. So I got a little bit of a cold, so sorry guys. Sorry. So again, pedalboard, yeah, delay sounds good. Let's test out the reverb. Again, over here, I'm gonna kind of make sure that we're not getting something like super cranky. Not really my taste. Yeah, so it's definitely workable. Not exactly my taste, but still workable. Let's go ahead and let's set up some cool 80s chorus, like some super wide, lush chorus sound. So definitely some cool chorus tones which you can get out of this, which is something which I often see amp sim developers not doing so well. The chorus tones, a lot of them don't sound good, but this one sounds pretty decent right out of the box. Not super wide, not super lush, but very usable. Let's go over to the channel 2, because we haven't explored any of the other channels so far. So I'm going to turn off all of the pedalboard related stuff. We can say with confidence that our input gain is set correctly. Got to retune this over here. All right, now what I'm going to do is crank the gain completely. And yeah, let's listen to first what that sounds like. Now I could go ahead, crank the highs a little bit, take the lows a little bit down, mids a little bit back, and then we are in the ballpark where I would like to be. Sounds really good, man. I like this a lot. Let's try some of the presets out, because I like definitely the California rock. So what we got over here is a pretty mid-scooped heavy tone. You can work that really good into some tight thrash metal stuff going on. Perfectly neutral. What does this sound like? So more of a, you know, like basic rock tone, which you can then form to your likings. Tight marshmallow. Okay, yeah, sounds okay, but for me personally, the best preset out of all of the amplifiers over here and all the channels are the California Rock. I could easily use that and then move from there on. In fact, the demo song which you heard is basically kind of a derivative, or used a derivative of this preset. And then we got the channel 1, and Is This Clean was a really cool preset which actually was used at the beginning. I think I used a little bit less on the input, so I went kind of like this. And moving on from here, soft ambient lead. So a lot to be discovered on that front. This amplifier is not really for the cleans. Now, to be fair, this is also something with the original amplifier. From what I know, that the clean basically is being told to be useless in that regard. So it's kind of very similar to the 5150, the original 5150, where the clean, you know, is like always a little bit distorted, perhaps due to the mods which were made on the Blue channel. That's the nature of things. But, you know, when it comes to this amplifier, I think the right way to go is anyways with going with that, you know, heavy metal, thrash metal attitude to it. Once again, ML Sound Lab, color me impressed. What a great addition the Blackout is to the amped portfolio. Now, I really like that it's super easy to use. So for me, it was kind of like, you know, swimming through very clear and very, you know, calm waters, because I am used to using amp sims. I know what's exactly going on. Everything was easy to dial in. Everything is laid out in a way which is very simplistic, but still gives you a lot of options for what you are getting over here. And of course, the value proposition, this being right now on the sale only $30, and even after the sale being $60, this is really, really good. Now, things which you have to consider is this is a little bit of a CPU hog, so be sure that you can actually use it properly. There is a free demo out there which has some occasional dropouts, so before purchase, make sure that it runs on your system, that you're not getting any clicks and pops. So there's that. And of course, you got to find out, you know, what input setting you want to have them, you know, which is most efficient. Just be sure that you play a little bit around, because you heard for yourself how drastically the tone can shift from being totally undergained to being exactly the right amount of gain with just a little bit on the input knob over here. Yeah, apart from that, I mean, what's not to love about this plugin? It's an 5150, it's an EVH Stealth 5150 actually, which is awesome. It has the awesome reflex speakers integrated in it. It has a pedal board which is very much usable, and yeah, some cool additional features in there as well, like the tuner, the MIDI capabilities. You know, making presets is super easy. Using the presets, they do sound good, and yeah, I'm a fan. You know, once again, congratulations on the release, ML Sound Lab. And what do you think about the tones which I got in this video? What do you think about the demo song which I wrote? Did you like it? Should I incorporate things like that a little bit more in my videos? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you everybody for watching. I really, really appreciate everybody being on the journey with me here together. If you like what you see, please consider hitting the subscribe button, like, commenting down below, helping out the algorithm. Yeah, see you in the next video. Until then, keep it metal.